Hi, you're listening to Boggy Talk, Faith Conversations in the Mud, a resource of Church on Bayshore.
Hey, and welcome to Boggy Talk. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Can we call it Noggy Talk?
Noggy Talk.
For the next few weeks?
Well, only if we drink eggnog, and then things will really get boggy.
There's non-alcoholic eggnog.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well,
yes.
I mean, I've actually never had it. But
listen, Nathan, my son, loves eggnog.
I think I've tried it once. And
I think
it's
disgusting.
so thick. I feel like I'm drinking snot.
I feel like my throat is like getting right now.
So Noggy Talk, yeah.
We should do like a survey and see who likes
I guess
eggnog
is buggy in its own way.
I mean, we got to be careful out there.
Yeah, that's true. People may get offended.
Still says First Baptist on our campus, so we got to watch out.
We're not non-denominational where they don't have to be secret about their drinking. So anyway, hey. Do I need to edit that?
No, you don't need to edit that.
I think people know us well enough.
Back to Noggy Talk.
Hey, it's beginning to look like Christmas because it's December, and that means it's one of the most wonderful times of the year and also one of the craziest times of the year, and it's only week one, so how you doing, man?
Man, the holiday party rush started this past weekend. I think we had two that we went to, plus a Christmas concert, and of course, just normal church stuff going on. Basketball season, like it's just so much. Christy and I were joking when we were coming back from like a pretty chill Thanksgiving break. We were thinking like, oh, we didn't have that much in the calendar, and then like we have a shared calendar, and so like our calendars keep like popping up with things each other are putting in. We're like,
new event added. Stop.
No. So it's all like it's all great. It's all exhausting, and then December 24th hits. And afterwards, it is like week of chill. Yeah, except for we'll be here on the 25th, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Cannot wait for that. I always just look forward to that week of chill between Christmas and New Year's. It's always so wonderful.
Yeah. I think it's a very valuable thing.
So. Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. But yeah, Christmas party. Hey, this past Sunday.
So nobody die. Or get really sick
please,
that week.
Yeah. Please don't do that.
Yes.
Please don't die. Please don't get sick.
What a strange for our sake.
From Noggy
just
Talk.
100% for our sake.
To be totally selfish, can you just take care of yourself?
We want to minister to you, but please wait until January 3rd.
Yeah, but hey, this past Sunday in services, we wrapped up our series. It's and it's not over, but it is finished.
Yes, it is now over. The series is over.
It is now over. But
some people are like, it's about time.
Yeah, and we're kicking off for Christmas, but we, Christmas music, the choir led this past Sunday is wonderful.
Sanctuary's decorated.
Yeah, it's funny. In rehearsals, like with choir, I was like, when you sing this part, it is the beginning of Christmas. Because it's like this one part of the song they sang was like, this one rehearsal was like, just make it sound like Christmas.
So if you're flat, Christmas doesn't come this year.
It's ruined.
It doesn't come this time this year.
Yes. Well, speaking of Christmas, that's what we're going to talk about the next few weeks, just the craziness of December and some of the things going on. But let's talk about really what makes Christmas. What is this Christmas celebration? Why do we celebrate Christmas? How do we celebrate Christmas? And there's actually some debate about how we should celebrate Christmas. So let's dive in.
We got to get into the
boggy about how we should celebrate Christmas, because we're looking about the sacred part of Christmas, where Christ is the center of Christmas, and there's debate on how that looks. And there's the secular celebration of Christmas, and then for Christians, what does this really need and should it look like as we celebrate the birth of Jesus?
Man, people sure do get so tense about things like this. I think if people were more noggy, they would be less boggy. But that's another boggy talk. But I mean, again, I just light debate on light introduction to this debate is that there are people on one end of the spectrum who they are like, look, you shouldn't have anything to do with Christmas because it has pagan roots and origins.
That Christmas tree is a pagan symbol.
And so because of that, like, you should not even acknowledge it. And that's not just Jehovah's Witnesses I'm talking about. I mean, there's Christians, evangelical Christians. And then on the other end of it, it's like, if you don't do all the things, then you are a Scrooge, you know? And so, and I think that most of us probably fall somewhere between, because you probably wouldn't keep listening to us if you were on one end of that spectrum.
We wouldn't feel offended.
And I think, there's some validity in like the caution about Christmas because of the pagan origins and some of the things we do and practice. Like, do we really know why we're doing them, and should we really do them? I do think there's a lot of value in just being educated and enlightened and all those things, and then making an informed decision about whether or not we practice those things.
I mean, we're talking about even the date of celebration, the December 25th, and has a lot more to do with the winter solstice than it does the actual, because we really think, Jesus was probably born months before that.
What?
What? That's just the truth. And I think there's so many wonderful, beautiful things. And I think this is why, here you go. So think about Halloween and how people, because Halloween has, definitely some pagan aspects of it. And people get really offended that you shouldn't do anything to do with Halloween because of that. Yet some of the traditions of Christmas do have those origins. Yet they're like, but we can redeem those. I think, let's be consistent. You can redeem it. Like as Christians, we're in the redemption business. And so I think, candy canes, there's candy canes. I don't think they have a pagan origin, but you read the candy cane book about how the white, the red, and the black. I'm serious, because Christians are also really good at marketing anything because they know it'll sell.
That is true.
So let's be discerning about what is real redemption and what is just great marketing. But
candy crosses instead of candy canes.
I don't know that there's a form that would mold those. I don't know very well in the candy shop.
I don't either.
But the whole do we do Santa? Do we not do Santa? Do we? I think there's just so much room for grace in a lot of this, and let's just focus on keeping Jesus the center of it all. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Paul talks in Colossians about not passing judgment on people for whether or not, and these are like pretty idolatrous festivals and participating in the idolatrous festivals. And they're eating the meat of these festivals and, from these things, or even just sacrifice to idols in general. And he's like, really, it's about conscience here, based on your background, and most of all based on the people around you. And then there's these Christian festivals that, people are legalistic in how they approach them. And he's like, again, that's an issue of, not Christian festivals, sorry, Jewish festivals. And so that's an issue of your conscience. So I do think there's just, some freedom here in it. I don't think the tension should really go away, because I think if the tension goes away, then we are pretty much either just going with the world, or we are just putting ourselves in a bubble and not engaging the world and really legalistic. And so I think the tension's a good thing. I think that's something that needs to be recognized, like in marriage, in just so many things. This tension is actually a good thing often.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that tension keeps us, if we pay attention to it and don't
pay attention to the tension.
If we pay attention to the tension,
then we might have retention.
And redemption of all the things.
Man, we're Baptist preaching over here.
There we go. We're rapping.
Yep. No, I said Baptist preaching, not rapping.
Baptist preaching.
Gosh.
Well,
you're trying to get us drunk on eggnog.
This is what I do.
Hey, there's such a thing as Boggy nog. Did you know that?
I have no idea what you're talking
about. It's like eggnog made in Niceville.
I'm about to say, there is that?
Yeah, they're celebrated at all the chamber events.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
That's another Boggy talk. Okay,
that's another Boggy talk. Yeah. Now, what was I going to say? The tension.
Sorry, yeah.
The tension really can help us stay tethered. I think the tension keeps us tethered because there's nothing wrong with you think of some of the stereotypical things that we do at Christmas with baking cookies, and there's bake cookies. Do that. Celebrate. Give presents. Light a tree. And the tension of the tension can keep us tethered to the true meaning of Christmas, the true story of Christmas, and the heart of everything, and that is the exaltation of Jesus Christ, the light of the world, who came into the world and who will come again.
When I hear you talk about Christmas, I think there should just be a movie called Basic White Guy Christmas. And it's just you and you're just living out your best Christmas dreams.
But what's funny
is you're baking your cookies.
I do bake cookies with the kids.
And you're doing your Santa Claus and your candy canes.
I don't know. Okay, but I like to watch Christmas lights and I like to bake cookies. The rest of it, I'm like, whatever. I told the kids.
Watch Christmas lights? You don't look at them, you watch them?
Did I say what? We go around and you watch the shows. Because here in Niceville, people put music together.
True, they do.
And there's shows to watch.
Not on Turnberry Way. All right. Well, we could get into so much of this. I think you can go and watch a Kirk Cameron documentary and find out all you need to know about the nuances. But I do think it is important as Christians that Christ is central in all things.
Yeah, not
and so,
just,
so like, yes, he should be the focus at Christmas because he's the focus in everything of our life. And that's true in, our kids' school and their sports and their whatever they might be doing. That's true in our marriage. That's true in our workplace. Like ultimately Christ is the focal point of everything. And I think, yeah, I mean, I almost want to say, duh. Yeah. Like if you're a Christian, he's central to Christmas because he's central to everything. And don't you think that's where some of the tension is here, is that maybe there are some people who aren't keeping Christ central in everything, who then find these kind of like power plays to keep Christ central?
Are you saying that you think it's possible that there are people who don't keep Christ central, but in all aspects of life, and to compensate for that, they're like, Christmas, that's where I can keep Christ central?
Yeah, like when somebody says Happy Holidays, they're like, well, Merry Christmas to you. And it's just fueled by the reality that they're probably not.
Yeah, I think that definitely can be the case. Absolutely, because it's just easier to do that. It's easier because it's like there's not a lot to lose, by celebrating Christmas and being overt in your celebration of Christmas. There's not a lot to lose in that.
Right.
But there is if you're following Jesus in every aspect of your life. If you're letting him dictate your, in submission to him and your calendar, your schedule, your finances, your goals, your dreams, your career, there's more at stake than Merry Christmas and, just celebrating and keeping him the center.
We've talked about this before on Boggy Talk, but, I'm sure we have new listeners and people forget 98% of what we say. What do you guys do to just keep Christ central in your Christmas celebrations?
I mean, we talk about redemption. We read the Christmas story, like on Christmas, we read the Christmas story. Like, we talk about it. I don't know, like specifically, we just keep talking about it. I mean, in every opportunity, we'll watch shows like that's so awesome. And it's so cool that we get to do this because of what Jesus has done.
I think being a part of a church community that makes much of Jesus at Christmas Eve, and going to Christmas Eve service is a big deal. I mean, I know if you have a lot of family, it's almost like a hassle, but it's an hour, out of your night to just really be intentional about that. And then, we do the Christmas story, and then we really try not to go overboard on presents and so we haven't really emphasized Santa in our house, and we don't think you're going to hell if you do. But because we just, didn't want it to take attention off of Christ and what it's about. And I think that's worked for us. I think there are people who do both, and it works for them. That's fine. I think leveraging, the season to really just point to the reason.
The reason for the season. Speaking of basic white guy things to say.
I know.
You're one of those.
Yes.
Yeah,
I said basic white Christmas. I didn't call you a basic white guy.
I thought you said...
You insulted me.
Yeah, I think
I don't
you
know.
did.
You
did.
We'll have to go back and listen
in editing.
when you edit.
We'll see.
You're going to make that part louder if I did.
Right. I'm like, he said it, y'all.
I just said I see you as... Okay, anyway.
Yeah. I think, lean into... there are special times. I think leverage the times we have as a family. One of the things we did...
President's Day.
That's right. Just kidding. One of the things we did before Christmas, before Thanksgiving, is we told our kids, we said, hey, we want to do some things that are special to you, and we've developed some things that we've done over the years, and maybe we haven't done them every year, but if there's something you really want us to do as a family that as part of our Christmas celebration, tell us, because we don't want to just not do it because we forgot. And so we're trying to help our kids have some ownership.
Look at you.
Speaking to what we're doing as a family. Ooh. But even in that, it comes back to just
You're so much more like a millennial parent then.
I'm not
went from basic white guy Christmas to I told
them. I said there's no guarantee we're doing it, but we do want to consider it and make sure that we listen to them and that they can say what they want to say. So it's not just Justin's basic Christmas. It's the Wyatt basic Christmas.
It's not Wyatt if it's the Wyatt family.
Right.
But
that's right.
Anything else we need to say about this?
I don't know. Just enjoy Jesus and enjoy Christmas.
Right.
You
Lighten
don't
up,
have to be
chill.
Yeah, just don't be legalistic about it. Don't be judgmental about it. And don't be like the world in it either. I think our celebration of Christmas should be distinctly Christian besides just coming to church and
Right.
just coming to Christmas
Yeah,
Eve. Our
right.
celebration really should be distinctly Christian.
That's good. That's good.
Well, anything else to add to that?
Now I think it's time to get on to some questions.
All right, questions.
We got a
All
Christmas one. I know that.
All right.
Or a couple Christmas ones.
Yeah. So, well, first, let's do this. How we talked about our end of the year giving, and let's explain how that works. The question is, how does our end of year giving work at Church on Bay Shore? Because we announced a few weeks ago that by God's grace, we have met our 2022 budget. So we have an end of year giving initiative where a third is going to missions, a third is going to debt retirement, and a third is going to priority projects. So, hey, explain that, Pastor.
Yeah. So to be clear, we budgeted, a certain amount for 2022 to meet the needs and budgetary needs. We will underspend, but basically the giving is already past that amount.
Praise God.
So we have this extra income that we didn't have a plan for, if you will, in 2022. And so what our stewardship team, along with our pastoral team and trustees have said is, okay, we want to say, hey, church, realize as you give, this is a budget surplus that's going to bless three things. And so one is going to go to missions. And so, we're going to help with some church planning. We're going to help with our missionary partners. We're going to help with the Lottie Moon Christmas offering. I mean, really, there's a potential that hey, we're going to have to figure out what do we do with this money in a good way. A third is going to go to debt retirement, which we do have a debt on our building. I think it'll be under $1 million after this. And it's just getting us in a position to be able to say, hey, Lord, what do you want us to do with the resources you've given me? And the other third is just things that we weren't able to put in next year's budget that are a priority, especially in the circumstances of inflation. And so it just positions the church to do things well here, to prepare ourselves for the future, and to make an impact on the kingdom. And so we're already, as I shared this past Sunday, $200,000 over budget. So, every time we're giving right now, know that it is going to impact in that way. And what an exciting place to be as a church. And this is the 6th year in a row that we're in this position. And hopefully the Lord will continue to do that. But you're impacting when you give in those ways. I think we'd easily do over 500,000, which is just crazy to say.
Yeah, but it's huge kingdom impact. And I think some people may say, well, if we're over budget, why don't we just increase the budget by a lot more in 2023? And well, the answer is that's probably not the best method of budgeting. Yeah. So we have a stewardship team, and they have worked diligently and done the research based off of models, based off of projections, based off of lots of formulas that have done a lot of work to kind of say, here's what we could realistically and by faith, not just like here's the pragmatic, but here's also what we believe God is doing in our church and what we've seen. And here's where we think realistically we can be the budget. And we, also factoring in inflation and, looking ahead, this is a realistic budget. And we believe God will provide more than that. And so this is our this is our plan. And so we want to, I think a lot of churches in this position would be like, hey, we're just going to do a lot of things for us. And we want to set aside a large portion of this to do things for missions for others, and then take care of debt, which really enables us to do more for others as well, not just our church, but it frees up things in the future for us to be able to make a bigger kingdom impact.
And we were going to use some of it as seed money for our Hallmark Christmas movie, but you guys pointed out that Christmas Shoes
has already been made.
And they have Rob Lowe, so there's no way we could
he was the actor in that movie, apparently. So, we missed out on that opportunity. So, next question is, should churches worship on Christmas Day since this year it's a Sunday? Well, sure. But some people, I think the tension of this is like, hey, we'll use our church as an example. We're doing Christmas Eve services. That's a time when many people who don't connect in a church will come. And so should we cancel on Sunday? Some churches are, some churches aren't. For some, it's a pragmatic decision of, hey, we won't have volunteers for this. For some, it's no, this is some churches who are meeting are like, how dare you not meet? You are not really loving Jesus if you don't meet. And for us, it's really, I guess, somewhere going to be in the middle of, hey, we are going to put a lot of effort into Christmas Eve. We're going to reach people. And we have one service on Christmas Sunday. So really, because why are we doing that? I'll let you explain.
I think that the church should gather weekly and should gather on the first day of the week because that's when Christ rose from the grave, and that's what the pattern of the church is over history. But I think that, while that's like the guide, it's not, we don't want to take a legalistic approach to that. And so if your church is gathering literally the day before,
it's okay.
I think it's okay to not. And I would just say that each pastor, church leadership should really make that decision based on, their congregation. And so we feel like there's a good bit of our congregation who do want to come and worship on that Sunday. And so we're going to do it in person. Some churches are just doing a live stream to give people, that. Some churches are just taking off because they have their volunteers are all in terms of the Christmas Eve thing. And so they give their, volunteers off, and we aren't doing any children's ministry, anything like that because of that. And so I just think, it depends on your congregation, and especially larger churches. There is just so much logistics that goes into meeting that it's a lot to pull off a Sunday, and on a Sunday where people particularly have pulled a lot off the night before and don't want to do that stuff. So
there's merit in both, I think. And I think, what you said is true. Like the leaders of the church just need to make the best decision for their church, and members just be supportive and gracious. In it all. So.
I really, my primary factor in what we're doing, beyond what do I think our church will respond to is our staff, and so, I asked you to be there, but I told all our staff there's no expectations. They need to follow their convictions. Again, Lucas, our children's minister, would do it if I was like, hey, we need to have a children's ministry, but man, that would be so
it would be
to him.
Yeah, exactly. And volunteers, and everybody wants to be with their
family. That's just not right, for our church to just because some people feel like we have to do it. So, I posted, on social media, I said, look, if Jesus loves you still. So anyway.
Yes, he does. No matter what.
We could argue this for like a month, and I'd still just roll my eyes at you the whole time.
That's but you would not like literally behind your back roll your eyes, or
they'd be rolling inside.
There you go. Well,
my heart of hearts would be rolling.
We got time for one more question, or we just go on with the game? All right. So why are we not doing Advent?
Yeah, worship pastor. Why aren't we?
James says, I hate Advent. No, I'm just kidding. No, hey, that's a great question. And there's really not like a theological conviction behind this. So, you can do the research on your own of the history of Advent. It really has like kind of an unknown origins of when it, was first celebrated. It does date back to probably the 3rd, 4th, 5th century, some of those traditions. And it's a great tradition.
Yeah, it's fun.
When we were worship planning for this year, just knowing where we were going through the Gospel of Mark, it wasn't going to take us all the way it was going to take us all the way through December. We didn't have time to dedicate all 4 Sundays of Advent. Doesn't mean we're not doing anything Christmas or not doing Christmassy stuff for the next whole month of December. We're just not structuring it around the hope, peace, joy, and love aspect of Advent. But and our kids are doing Christmas in a Box, which is kind of a Advent themed. If your family's doing Advent, great. And we actually are looking at it for next year. So it's not, and it's kind of hit or miss. Some churches do this, and it's some churches don't, and it's really not a denominational thing. It's not that Baptist churches do or don't, or Methodist churches do or don't. All churches, some do, some don't. So I'd say if you want to do it, and we're looking at it for next year.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, so
well
cool.
Said.
There you go.
All right, I'm taking over now. It's game time.
Game time.
Okay.
So some people, I think this is the moment where they're like, yes. And some people are like, all right, I'm done. So
moving on to some Red State podcasts that I listen to.
That's right.
I don't have time for these frivolous games. I want to hear serious stuff.
I want to hear the more conspiracies.
Yes. Not very many conspiracies on Boggy Talk, other than the Boggy Nog that we talked about.
Conspiracy of Christmas. Ooh, that's our next
Advent
sermon.
conspiracy.
Advent
that's
there is a thing.
All of our ideas are already used.
Man, we're so old.
So I'm going to give you a quote from a movie. I'm actually going to give you up to 3. I'll probably give you all 3,
these Christmas
even if you
movies?
get it. These are Christmas movies. And so you have to tell me what the movie is.
The other quotes,
you did terrible.
You just want to prove how bad
But these are Christmas movies. These are very popular Christmas movies.
Some of them I haven't seen. I'm sure. There's a lot of Christmas movies that I haven't seen.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with this one, okay? And you tell me what movie this is from. You did it. Congratulations. World's best cup of coffee. Great job, everybody.
I have no idea. But it's a Christmas movie. Die Hard.
Okay. Nope. Okay. And second quote from that same movie is, and if you see a sign that says Peep Show, it doesn't mean they're letting you look at presents before Christmas.
Is this Elf?
Yes. It's
okay.
Elf.
All right. Because I was like, he's saying that to an adult who should know better. All right, there you go.
He says it too, buddy. Yeah. Go. So the last one was, you stink. You smell like beef and cheese.
Oh, see,
you don't smell like Santa. So I'm trying to make
know those.
Yeah,
I do know that.
Okay. Same one. Okay. All kids, no parents, probably a fancy orphanage.
All kids, no parents, probably a fancy orphanage. Ooh, that's not Home Alone, is it?
It is Home Alone.
Oh,
yeah.
that's like the beginning of the movie, right? They're like staking it out.
Yeah,
sweet,
good
look
job.
at me. Hey, I got.
The other ones were going to be, you guys give up or are you thirsty for more?
Oh yeah, okay, I could get that.
And
one.
keep the change, you filthy
See,
animal.
even Justin Wyatt can get those.
Yeah. Okay. Fragile. Must be Italian.
Oh, that's the Christmas Story.
Yes. Good job.
Hey,
Look at that.
I
The
have
other
seen
quotes
these.
were going to be, I triple dog dare you,
Yes.
and you'll shoot your eye
You'll
out.
shoot your eye.
You would've
out.
got it by that time.
Absolutely.
Okay, this one might be harder, but you'll get it by the last one. Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun, old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
Oh, that's a Christmas Vacation.
Wow,
Yeah,
good job.
look at me.
Good job.
Hey.
The next one was going to be, it was an ugly tree anyway. And then It's a Butte,
Oh, that's
Clark.
funny.
It's a Butte.
Okay, Clark would have given it
Yes,
away.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's fun. I do remember that one.
Okay. Dear Santa Claus, how have you been? Did you have a nice summer? How is your wife? I've been extra good this year, so I have a long list of presents that I want.
Oh, that one's I don't know. I need another clue.
Okay, next one is, isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about?
Oh, is this Charlie Brown Christmas?
Charlie Brown
there you
Christmas,
Go. Okay, I was
yes.
like, it's a kid. That's yeah. I can hear him say that.
Yeah,
Isn't anybody know?
And then Linus reads the
yeah,
chapter two.
that is
Yeah.
such a good one.
Right? I
That is
know.
such a good one.
It is.
Oh.
And then the last one was going to be, oh no, my own dog gone commercial. And I thought with Snoopy, you would have figured
That's
that one
right.
out. Okay, this one, two more. These are going to be the harder ones.
Okay.
Blast this Christmas music. It's joyful and triumphant.
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay. Then he
Next.
thought of something he hadn't before. What if Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store? What if Christmas perhaps means a little bit more?
Is this is the Grinch?
Yes, The
How
Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't that a good line?
Yeah, that is.
If you actually like read the book,
Are you will you work that into a sermon?
I should,
Will you
man.
do that Christmas Eve?
I should.
Bring a little sentimentality to Christmas Eve.
but I think the other one was, I think that the most likely reason of all may have been
Oh,
that
his
his heart
heart
was
was-
two sizes too
Yes.
small.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, what?
Last
Mr.
one.
Grinch.
I don't think you're going to get this one, mainly because I don't know if you think it's a Christmas movie, but it is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
So it's not Die Hard, because you've already
Okay.
said that. But it's a debate on this. Christmas carolers. I hate Christmas carolers. Screechy voice little glue sniffers.
That's a great line, though. I have no idea off that clue.
Okay. You say you hate Washington's birthday or Thanksgiving and nobody cares, but you say you hate Christmas and people treat you like a leper.
Oh, this is familiar.
You'll get it on the third one.
I don't know yet. Okay.
All right. The third one is, first of all, keep him out of the light. He hates bright light, especially sunlight will kill him.
Is this Gremlins?
So, yes. Second, don't give him any water, not even a drink. But the most important rule, the rule you can never forget, no matter how much he cries, no matter how much he begs,
Don't let him. I don't remember.
never feed him after midnight.
Never feed him after midnight. That's right. That's right. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. But
Also, instructions on Stephen Ross.
hey, I think
Yes,
all
The
of our kids.
Grinch Who Stole Christmas is definitely a Christmas
Yes,
movie.
I need to see that movie.
I mean, the Gremlins is definitely a Christmas movie.
it takes place at Christmas, so it's a Christmas movie. I
But
need
if
to
you
see that. Yeah.
do not watch Gremlins or National Lampoon Christmas Vacation with your children.
Yeah, because
It's
there's so
not
many,
appropriate.
Yeah, there's so many bad words in those.
There are a
movies.
lot of like older people in this church who are
Yeah.
like, movies today, blah, blah. They love National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. I'm like, it's raunchier than
It is
anything out
very,
today.
what's funny is I remember watching it like fairly recently, but it was like the TV version. So I was like, oh, it's not that bad. And then somebody was watching it and they like, it was the real movie. I was like, oh, I didn't remember any of the stuff in it because it seemed like the TV version
Yeah.
of it. So, hey, well, I think I did okay on the quotes.
I think you did pretty well.
Well, I mean,
you did.
yeah. Hey,
you got
thanks
all,
for setting me
didn't
up
you?
for success. I think I did. I had the
You
first
did-
one.
You didn't get.
I didn't get the first clue on the first one.
Yeah, you got them all, man.
Okay.
You got 'em
Hey,
all.
look at me scoring high.
You should feel good about yourself.
I should, because I'm usually not good with movies because often I fall asleep. And
So what do we-
I rarely watch them more than once.
Well, next week, December 13th, I had it somewhere. We're talking, more about Christmas, right?
Yeah, more is Christmas.
How
like
exhausting it is.
Exhausting it is.
We'll be tired
and
by
by
next
then we
week.
will be very
Yes.
tired of Christmas. So it'll be good. It'll be a good reminder that we shouldn't try to do that. We should try to not be as tired as we have to talk about how tired we
good.
are. So yeah, hey, tune in next time as we talk more about Christmas celebration, how to do it, and how to honor Jesus in it all. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
On Noggy Talk.
Noggy Talk. Nog, 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 nog.
Thanks for listening to Boggy Talk. We are so glad you joined in the conversation. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss a beat.